everyone, it's Ambrosia, and I would like to take you on a journey into the wilderness. Because a lot of times we go through a particular season and we think that we're the only one that have ever gone through that season, or we go through a particular trial and we think that we're the only one that has ever gone through that trial. And a lot of times we do the woe is me, and we feel like we can't make it, or we're not getting anything in that wilderness experience. So I'm going to take you on this journey. So in the Bible, there's a king named Ahab. Ahab is married to Jezebel, and Ahab and Jezebel are very wicked. So in 1 Kings 17, Elijah tells Ahab that there will be no rain in the land until he give word for rain to come. So this is 1 Kings 17 verse 1. And then when we go to verse 3, God tells Elijah to go hide himself in the wilderness. In verse 4, he tells him that he has commanded the ravens, and the ravens will feed him, and there's a brook that he will drink from. Now, personally, I am terrified of birds. So right there, that would have been like a no deal, like, God, no, because it's a bird and I'm not messing with birds. But this is what God commanded, and every day this raven came and fed Elijah, just like God would told Elijah that he would. In verse 6, it says, and the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. So not did the ravens not only come and feed him once a day, but they came and fed him twice a day. Yeah, it's a no for me. In verse 7, it tells us the brook dries up because there's no rain in the land. So if there's no rain in the land, of course, the water source going to the brook has been cut off. So the brook dries up. So in verse 8 and 9, God tells him to go to Zarephath, and he has a widow that will feed him. So Elijah goes. If we flip over a chapter to verse 18, or chapter 18, verse 1, it says, and it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, go show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. So in 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 1 through 6, Elijah tells Ahab there will be no rain. And then God tells Elijah to go hide in the wilderness from Ahab and Jezebel. So Elijah literally went from a high, being able to tell them there will be no rain, to a low, having to go hide from them in the wilderness. Imagine in 2 verses going from this high to this low. But that's what happened. Elijah hiding would end up being 3 years, or 1,095 days. If you throw a leap year in there, it will be 1,096. So I know a leap year is every 4 years, but what if the year before was a leap year? And I know that there was no leap years back then, but just imagine now, if that was a leap year, 1,096 days in the wilderness. So imagine no one to talk to or nothing to do for 1,095 days. Now, I'm an introvert, and I thrive off of my alone time and being able to have my own thoughts and capture my thoughts alone. But even I can't go 1,095 days with no one to talk to or nothing to do. Imagine the thoughts that you would have in that amount of time. I mean, it's almost like in that amount of time, would you go crazy? But even in hiding in the wilderness, God still protected Elijah. He protected him from Ahab and Jezebel being able to get to him. He still provided for Elijah. He had the ravens feed him. He had the widow feed him. He had the brook for him to have something to drink. When the widow started feeding him, she got him water too. So there was all kind of provisions through this 3 years. and he prepared him. So if we go further into chapter 18, we learn that Elijah ends up telling the people that you can't keep going back and forth between two. You either let God be God or you let Baal be God. And they have the whole little ceremony where they put water on the altar and see whose God will light up the altar and all of that. So if we go back to chapter 17, God was preparing Elijah, giving him the courage and the boldness to be able to do the things that he would then have to be able to do in chapter 18. So today I just want to encourage you that even in your wilderness, trust God, because even in our wilderness, God is going to provide for us. He's going to prepare us, and he's going to protect us.